So today we're going to be looking at Lugia and Ho-Oh. Now these two Pokemon have most definitely been anticipated and waited for a considerable amount of time. Now if we were to look at both of them, obviously we'll go for Ho-Oh first. We've got the beautiful EX, which is a Pokemon that does allow Phoenix Turbo. Now this obviously gives you 80 damage. You can also take a fire, water and electric energy from your energy zone and attach them to your benched basic Pokemon in any way you like. It so happens that Lugia fits into this beautiful category, and it's going to be a deck that is well worth having a look at. Now obviously with Ho-Oh, it's got the 80, 150, pretty standard. It's got colorless energy the whole way through, which is very nice, and it will allow you to potentially utilize some different energies, because if we are trying to just do these amount of energies, like it doesn't matter what other energies we want and these are the Pokemon we're going to use, then we can kind of use all three, which is pretty decent. So obviously that's going to be the number one for this set. Then if we go into Lugia, which is where the counterpart is, you want to start off with Ho-Oh and then end up with a Lugia. This does an Elemental Blast, which does 180, which I'm pretty sure, other than adding a tool on, will pretty much wipe out most things. I don't think there's many with over 180 HP without any tools or any added bonus onto it. Obviously with this, you've got the fire, water and lightning energy or electric energy that you have to utilize it. And then also on top of this, you will discard this as you do go. So you want to basically have more than one, or you are one blast away, for instance, to actually winning. There's no point bringing in Lugia and then not having it ready, sort of thing. So that's going to be the number one. So first and foremost, let's go into the deck and we'll start building it as we do go. Obviously Ho-Oh is going to be number one. It kind of doesn't matter which one you go for, but we'll just go for the one that is presented to us. Then obviously Lugia is going to be the other one. You'll go for a +2 with this. Standard and beautiful artwork across here. I know Ho-Oh has had some kind of clap back a little bit, obviously with the fact that it does look like that we have had a artist kind of take another artist's work, but that is for a whole other topic, to be honest. So they're going to be the first two. Now there is obviously a few others that I've seen. I've kind of seen another deck. I can't remember who the YouTuber was, but I have seen as we've gone through and actually thought these are going to be perfect cards to add into this. The first one would be Zorora, because basically with this one, you have got the Thunderclap Flash. So this is an ability that at the end of your first turn, take an energy from your energy zone and attach it to a Pokemon. So already you are getting more energies on there. Like I say, utilizing the beautiful electric, water and also fire energy to have on your tool, you could potentially not have to utilize another electric, which is going to be perfect. And because you can only have 4 of these Pokemon anyway, it's nice to have as an extra bonus anyway. So that's going to be another one that we could either use 1 or 2 of. Personally, I'm going to use 2 of these. In fact, I don't even have these in there. So let's go into any set onto this deck, because it is in the Crisis, the basically Ultra Beast set. So if you have not got necessarily any of these are something to work towards. So we're going to go whack 2 of him on there. Again, you could go with 1. Another one that we're going to utilize is Pichu. Another one that you can go 1 or 2. For the moment, I'm just going to go with 2 just to kind of see where the deck goes, because that does give us 12 possible slots for tools, supporters, and also items. But with the Pichu in itself, that one is going to, I believe, come from the Wisdom, which we are going to see right here. So we're going to get this from the brand new deck. So this is again going to do very much like what Zorora does, but instead of having the ability, you've got taken energy from your energy zone and attach it to one of your benched basic Pokemon. Obviously Lugia and Ho-Oh are basic Pokemon. There is no evolutions, just in case you didn't realize the difference. Obviously it's a legendary, but it's got no evolution forms, so it is still a basic Pokemon. So that does work in itself. Another really good kind of actual tool or an item that you'll be able to utilize now is the Elemental... passing has crashed apparently. Elemental, we're going to go into it. Elemental Switch. This is come out in the new one as well. This is going to be a beautiful one because it moves either a fire, water, or electric energy from one of your benched Pokemon to your active. So this is going to be really good if you do have, for instance, a need to get Ho-Oh up. You can obviously utilize this with the fact that Zorora has got the ability to give an electric energy. You can put one onto Ho-Oh. You can utilize Zorora after the first turn. And then if you've got any benched on there as well, you can swatch that on as well. Also, if you've got Lugia in there and you've got something on the bench, for instance, if you have got 3 energies on your Ho-Oh, you could then potentially put Lugia in with, say, 5 energies on it, and then you can still swap another energy in as well. So it does add that extra level where you can put it on. So I would 100% recommend at least 2 of these in your deck as well. So they're going to be thrown in. Obviously, like any deck, you're going to put the Pokeball in there. It's a standard. I wonder if we can get it like that. No, I know it's a different format, isn't it? Check in the description for a personalized link, but if you're looking for Pokemon Go coins, if you're looking for pocket trades, then Eldorado.gg is the place for you. You can buy the Go Pass Deluxe, you can buy the Pass plus 10 levels, you can buy Battle Passes and even coins from 100 all the way up to 58,000. There's also items and boosted available on Pokemon Go. When it comes to Pokemon Pocket, there's Pokegold that you can buy from the site, and also items such as trade-in from any stars from 1 all the way up to 3, and potentially more in the future. Eldorado also offer money back guarantee and also 24/7 live support. If you need any further recommendations, Trustpilot have plenty of Eldorado reviews that you can scan through and just check that this site is for you. And before you check out, make sure that you use the code POKEJT before you check out for 5% off your orders. So if we go item, oh, it's a space, of course it is. So we're obviously going to go with 2 there. I would 100% as well recommend the Pokemon Research. I think that's always as standard. It's pretty much in any deck now. When it comes to tools, or at least Pokemon tools that you can go with, there's not necessarily one that you can guarantee that you really want in this, but I do think that obviously having 1 or 2 is not going to be a bad thing. Obviously with Ho-Oh and Lugia, they've both got 150. I would potentially go with a cape at this point because they've got such high HP, and realistically you can only have 2 of them in there. If you lose a Ho-Oh, you can only lose 1 more Lugia, and it's not like you're really throwing in a Zorora or Pichu. The whole point is to get Ho-Oh in, and then Lugia's kind of on the bench ready for the attack, and if you can get double on there, perfect. So I would suggest 2 capes in that aspect. Then you've got to think, what is the best sort of kind of HP magnifier as such? Now, there is a couple that you can go with, obviously. When I personally look at these, I think when you do go to all cards, if we do go and search, I would suggest looking at something that does either switch a Pokemon as well, but then also has the healing aspect. So we've got 4 more zones, and like I say, they can be switched and moved about. You don't necessarily have to have 2 Zororas or 2 Pichus. You could go with the 2 Zororas and miss the Pichu. It's just adding that little extra of help. Personally, if we go for the supporter type first, let's have a look what we can kind of go with. So realistically, you can't really use many of these. Like Erica can't be used, they're not a grass type. You can't use Misty as it's not a water type. You could go with the Giovanni if you want to, but I think that would be a waste with 180 on the Elemental Blast. Very few Pokemon, like I say, can survive that anyway. You can utilize, there is a lovely one, which is, I believe, a bit further down. And I want to say it's one of the new ones if we keep going. It is Lyra. So this one is a great one because this is switch your active Pokemon that has damage on it with one of your benched. So this could be great to, like I say, move Ho-Oh out, add Lugia in, and then be able to use the elemental switch as well to add more to Lugia's damage. So I personally would go with 2 there. I think that's going to be one that I would say is at least very usable in this deck, more so than anything. So if we go further down, we can see that Lyra is here. Again, I'm just going to add the 2 in from here. So this then allows us for the final 2. Now, Like I say, you don't need to necessarily utilize two. You can obviously go with one giant cape. You could go with one Pichu instead. You could go with none. And then obviously I'm thinking some HP. I need some sort of HP builder here. Again, you could go with, I think there's a Pokemon heal that you can utilize, but that's for a stage 2. One of your Pokemon, those special conditions. So you could go with that one if they're poisoned, for instance. But if we do go over and have a look at something of the kind of, if we go into, where is it, supporter, if we go into the items instead, if you have a look at a few of the newer ones, obviously there's not going to be too much. The elemental switch is going to be the one that really helps you in this one. You've got Discard Fire Energy from your opponent's active. Again, that's only good against an active deck. Don't really need the rare candy with this. The communication, if you are kind of running out, I think again, having the Pichu in there is going to be potentially worth it, because if, for instance, you have a Pichu, you have 2 Zororas, but you have no Lugias yet, you could throw that in and you have a good chance of pulling a Lugia from it. So I do think that communication could be an option, and I'd possibly just go with something like a potion on that aspect then. So they're going to be kind of my final ones that I would possibly go with here. Like I say, I wouldn't necessarily say everything's set in stone, like this is not the number one only deck that you can utilize, but I do think it's one of the more powerful ones, and as we do go, you could potentially just even throw Ho-Oh and Lugia in there and then just add even more items and supports that help just continue the deck. You could throw in a bit more of the kind of deck magnifier with the Team Rocket one, where basically you can get rid of the potential energies of your opponent as well. That's going to be another interesting one that you could throw in, which is a little bit more RNG. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of having a deck that is based on coin flipping, or at least has some element, because then you're kind of putting yourself in again for a chance that maybe you don't quite get the hit rate. But that is personally going to be the deck that I would go for at the moment. Like I say, there's a few switches. Always leave comments down below if there's any updated versions. I'll bring that out in the near future as well when I look through all of the EXs. So if you like what you're seeing for right now, I normally try and cover the decks within the first couple of days, and then we'll kind of in a few weeks go back over them again. So make sure you subscribe for that, like, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.